Yes, dudes and dudettes, Major League Butt Kicking is back in town. Oh, yeah!
All right, and we're back for another edition of HSC Hartford Sportscast. I am Sean.
And I'm Aaron.
And we are back with all the Hartford sports news, all of it. And first up, the Hartford Athletic.
Yeah, the Hartford Athletic soccer matches at Dillon Stadium can be filled to 100% capacity starting with their home match on May 29th, the team announced on Monday. Last week, the governor, Ned Lamont, announced the lifting of business restrictions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and gave the green light for the Hartford Yard Goats, the Athletic, and other teams to sell all tickets. Dillon Stadium holds about 5,500 people. The Athletics friendly against New England Revolution 2 on May 4th, and their regular season home opener on May 15th will be sold to 50% capacity.
Moving on to another team who will be at 100 capacity soon, the Yard Goats. Tickets for individual Yard Goats games went on sale at 10 a.m. on Monday. There will be no in-person ticket sales at this time, and to order tickets, fans must go online or call and have the tickets delivered digitally. Now, for the first 8 games from May 11th through May 18th, you have to buy tickets in pods of 2, 4, 6, or 8 to maintain social distancing. And, of course, everyone's asked to wear masks, except when they're eating or drinking. And total capacity at Dunkin' Donuts Park will be limited to 50%. But beginning May 19th, most state business restrictions are being dropped, and capacity at the ballpark will go up to roughly 100% or 6,000 seats. Fans who head to the game will still be asked to wear a mask, except when they're eating or drinking, but there will be a much bigger crowd there. There will also be added hand sanitizer stations and extra cleaning by the Yard Goat staff.
Yeah, plus this is coming right out of the news. CDC today announcing that outdoor activities are safe while you're vaccinated, so long as you're wearing a mask if it's a crowded place and you can't social distance. So our discussion on people making their own personal decisions, it sounds like the CDC, who's typically pretty conservative with their recommendations, are saying that it's safe for people to do outdoor activities now.
Well, that's great to hear. And when the players take the field for the May 11th home opener, it will be their first game at the park in over 620 days. Tim Restall, the Hartford Yard Goats president, said, "We often judge our success in the smiles on people's faces, and it's hard to do that with a mask. But we're very excited. I know the players in Arizona are very excited, and everyone is excited to come back to the Hartford Yard Goats and come in to watch a baseball game and cheering on the crowd and having a great time." And that just about sums it up. I'm very excited for the upcoming season. It feels like the end of a long tunnel, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And there's nothing like spring and baseball season in the ballpark. And we all know Dunkin' Donuts Park is a great place to be. And it looks like ticket prices are going to range from $6 up to about $20. And they're expected to go on sale for the rest of the season starting in mid-May.
Yep, and obviously group hospitality areas are also available. Party decks, luxury suites, dugout suites. They're on sale for the whole season already. So if you're interested, don't forget to call 860-246-GOAT. And speaking of Dunkin' Donuts Park, this past weekend there was a Hartford Hawks game there. And it was, I was there. It was kind of cool. It felt so normal, just a warm, sunny day, about 1,000 fans, enough to make it sound like a big crowd. And the home team Saturday was the University of Hartford Hawks, who swept their doubleheader against Albany, sending the fans home happy in the moment. However, uncertainty and concern still hovers over any athletic event that involves the Hartford Hawks, and that's what we're going to talk about here.
Yeah, it's been quite an ordeal, huh?
Definitely. So as the Hawks were rallying from behind and winning the first game 8-7 on Donnie Cahoon's 10th inning hit and breezing to a 12-6 victory in Game 2, alumni and donors were gathered in the party decks, and the subject of what has befallen you Hartford Athletics in the recent weeks following the men's basketball team's first NCAA tournament appearance was on everybody's mind. Susie Reach, who with her husband Tom donated $2 million in 2003 to start the building of what is now called the Reich Family Sports Pavilion, was interviewed by the Hartford Courant and said her husband, who was ailing, told her, "I hope I don't live long enough to see them go to D3. Tom Reich is a lifelong honorary regent at UHart. And it just broke my heart, Susie Reich said. He not only put his money, but his heart and soul into this program. Now,
that really goes to show just how important these sports teams are to people, and these decisions, which are really business decisions, can have consequences on people's morale and their lives.
and for those that aren't aware of the circumstances surrounding UHart, it all began with a study commissioned by the school from Carr Sports. A consulting firm indicated that UHart's D1 model was losing roughly $13 million per year, and determined that the D1 model was unsustainable, and recommended a move to D3. Controversy has obviously broiled since, and another study commissioned by Friends of the Neighborhood asserted that the savings of moving to D3 were exaggerated in the Carr Sports report, though they did not have access to all of the university's data.
I wonder why they're switching straight from, or thinking about going from D1 to D3 and not D2. That seems like quite a jump.
It is strange. I imagine it's just, if they're going to be saving money, they're going to save it all, and I don't think there's a lot of money in D3 sports, or D2 sports for that matter. But again, I'm not terribly knowledgeable about it. The UHart... So good.
I was going to say that it sounds like the UHart Board of Regents are going to meet in early May and discuss the path forward. And it seems like longtime supporters at Dunkin' Donuts Park on Saturday called for a pause and further study, which I think makes sense.
Yeah, Tom Trillo, a UHart alum and former regent, was interviewed by the Hartford Courant and said, "If I were on board, I would advocate a pause. I don't think the whole issue has been examined from both sides, and there's no harm in making a pause and letting some of the dust settle. However, if I had to make a decision today, based on what I've seen, I'd be interested in capitalizing on the opportunity created by the men's basketball success, and I would support staying in D1. And the men.
I wonder if the study's even taking into account things like recruitment to the school for, the rise in their athletics. We know that, athletics doesn't drive too much, but we do know that it's part of people's decisions in choosing what school to go to. And if they're looking at a school that has, a D3 basketball team, and they're looking at a school that has a D1, and it's an exciting time to be there for sports, it could possibly influence a freshman's decision to go to the school, even if they don't play sports themselves. So I just wonder how much they're taking into account these recent, these recent exciting opportunities.
It's a very good point, Aaron. The men's basketball team was honored between games of the doubleheader on that note for all their recent success. Coach John Gallagher, who has not spoken publicly about the issue, and his players received a plaque from Hartford Mayor Luke Bronin. Gallagher's neighborhood theme caught on in the city, and it was also displayed on the ribbon boards at Dunkin' Donuts Park on Saturday. The interesting thing about all this is that the controversy comes at a time when the Hawks' appearance in March Madness, where UHart lost in its first round to eventual champ Baylor, brought newfound attention to the school.
Yeah, so Tom Trillo, in his interview with the Hartford Courant, continued on to say, "I couldn't believe the groundswell that came behind the school from the local community. This neighborhood concept that John Gallagher has built is tremendous. Local businesses have stepped up behind the school. I think it's a tremendous fundraising opportunity, and that's what we should be capitalizing on, not sitting here fighting about being Division III, because there really aren't financial opportunities in Division III.
It's an interesting point. Now, while the socioeconomic realities of this issue are beyond this modest podcast to simplify, I have to say that I am rooting for UHart to come out of these circumstances stronger than before. Clearly, there's a passionate community behind them, and that's what sports is all about.
For sure.
Well, that about does it for another edition of HSC. We'll see you next time.
We were awesome! Yes, dudes and dudettes, Major League Butt Kicking is back in town! Oh, yeah!